Hello everyone, Dan the 14th Prime here. Today I want to share with you guys the McFarlane Toys Spawn Rebirth 7-inch action figure. You're taking a look at the front of the box, pretty efficient, tight packaging here. You can see the figure through the front window. Has some logoing here on the left side. Some product shots here on the back. And more logoing and kind of wraparound art effect from the front of the box there you can see of Spawn. So that's it. I like it. Pretty efficient packaging for a 7-inch figure. Let's pop them out of there and check it out. So here Spawn is out of the box. I've got him accessorized up. He comes with those couple guns and that little stand there. You can see this guy is looking really cool. Great sculpt. Lots of cool detail. He's got the chains, the spikes. He's even got a great eyes and head sculpt going. And we'll go in closer and look all of that. Let me just give him a spin around for you. This guy's almost like a mini premium format figure almost. I don't know what to call him. He's, 7-inch scale figure. A lot of it is just molded and sculpted, and then he has some points of articulation. Limited, very limited, and I'll show you that as well. But as a display piece or something to put on the shelf, I mean, this is really, really nice. Great paint work. Lots of wear you can see on the cape, tattering, all of that effect, and he's even got some dynamic flare molded into the collar. Here from the side, you can probably see better that the chains kind of flowing behind him. Really cool, and again, kind of molded and sculpted that had some flair to them. All right, so let's jump in closer. So here we are closer up, and let's check out that head sculpt. It looks really good. The eyes look really cool, almost kind of glowing. Really great paint work in the eyes. You can't really move the head up or down, just a little bit side to side I'll show you, so I can't really give you kind of a chin up sort of perspective, which is what I was trying to do. But I'll let you check this out. I think it's really nicely done. There's kind of a ruggedness, or there's some detail and stuff in that black. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but there's definitely, he's an all black figure. Some good sculpting under there. And then I think kind of some paint effect also is giving some, some expression to the face, and also some detail through the body that you'll see. So if we go down the figure, you can see he's got the big dynamic flare kind of coming off the collar. That looks cool. Got the guns coming across the chest. That is just kind of a piece that's sitting on there that moves around a little bit. This arm is in this position, more or less, and this elbow will move up and down a little bit. I'll show you the articulation. Kind of same thing over here. The left arm's pretty much down, and then the elbow can move up and down a bit. Here we are at the midsection. Check out the belt, which is really nice. Bunch of leather pouches. Got the skull kind of belt buckle, the chains coming off of it. Pouches on the legs, and then the big spiky boots, and the big foot. Again, really, really nice. A lot of good detail, a lot of good sculpt, a lot of good paint. For what's a 7-inch, $20 action figure, I guess I'll call it. But again, not really an action figure because you don't get much articulation. Kind of like a mini statue with some posability. We'll jump over here to the side. You can see that cape. The cape is really good. There's a lot of good paint work. You'll see it better on the back. A lot of good wear and tattering. Here you can see pretty good the way the light's hitting it. Some of that detail that's in the black. A lot of striated muscling. It's a lot of detail in there that does come out. Easier to see in person. Under the lights helps, of course. But this is a good view to check that out. You get the spiked armbands. Kind of the handgun there. We'll check those out a bit closer. And the cape just kind of covers the rest of the side. I'll jump back up here and I'll just show you. This is probably as good a place as any. But what this arm basically does is just come up to about 90 degrees. So you can kind of pose them like that. You can get some of this articulation in the hand if you want to have the gun certain ways. And then again, you can get it kind of flat. Those are kind of your posing options for what's, again, effectively kind of like this mini posable statue. You've got the back of the figure. This is where kind of the best color and, kind of dry brush effect probably is what that is. comes into play all over the cape. Really nice kind of wear effect. A lot of flow effect in it for what's really just kind of, more or less sculpted. This is kind of rubberized. This is too, but it's definitely on the firmer side. But it does have some pliability, so it's not going to break. But it's not cloth. Love the bottom there. It's all tattered, shredded, kind of flowing. A really cool looking figure from the back. Then on the right profile here, again, kind of similar stuff from the left. You see all the flare from the cape. You can see the chains, a lot of nice detailing in the figure with the muscles. The big boot. The big stomper down there. And again, let me just show you this arm up here. Again, I'll show you the gun a little bit later, but it's kind of molded in a little bit of an outward position. You can kind of swivel it this way, so you can get some effect with the gun out to the side, all the way to the gun towards the front. And then he has the elbow too. It looks like that's kind of all you get, so you can get just sort of from the 90 degree and up. Yeah, that's not going to go anymore. You get like this, kind of gives it shooting right at you. Then if you go up higher, you get the holding it in the air effect, like that. And since I've got that arm out of the way, I'll just kind of show you this profile a little bit better. The spiky boot, looks cool, the chains, the belt again, spiky forearm. So let me just show you some of the rest of this articulation, posability options. So you can turn the head left to right, but again, it doesn't go up and down, so it's kind of on this fixed, kind of looking down position. So when you turn it to the side, there you go. Kind of just has this swivel effect, like swing effect. But you can do that. Looks like the waist has actually got some movement, so that's cool. Get you a better angle for this waist. This dude's pretty tight. So you can see how that'll move around. Give you some posing options. And finally, I'm just going to pick him up here. Easiest way to show you is he's got kind of like a calf joint, calf pivot point. In terms of an articulation point, it's kind of odd, but it can help you get the effect of kind of pointing the foot certain directions, and it doesn't actually look too bad, when it sits in those positions with the leg. Looks like it could work. And again, just giving you more posing options. And last thing I'll try to show you here, one more thing, just in checking out the figures, I'll just try to get the cape out of the way. You can see it's very well done on the inside as well. I think he's just got like a giant peg up there on his shoulder, but it doesn't look like it comes out. Okay, actually I was able to get it out. I don't know if it's something you should do. If it was glued, it was a pretty light glue. And that just went around the head and neck. But then you're left with this giant peg sticking out of his back, which looks like that might be glued in to his back as well. So maybe you could even take that out if you wanted to. But if anything else, the main thing I was trying to do is just give you a shot of the back of the figure. So let's ignore the big grotesque peg there, but otherwise, you get a feel for the guns. The suit is detailed on the back. Got the belt flowing around it, and then the chains is the big thing, right? Chains kind of flows off, and then they've got it sort of glued onto the leg over here to help just create this shape effect that they've got going. So let's check out the couple guns. I'm going to leave them on because they were painful to get into the hands. But this is the big rifle. Very nicely done. You've got the gray metal to black. You got some brown in there. Sort of a greenish for the grenade up here. So a lot of good detail, a lot of good different paint accents. And I'll give you a peek here from the other side. You can see, pretty much the same thing, but he does get the finger in the trigger, which is cool. It's just hard to get in those hands. They're so tight. But it looks really good. Some nice wear and some paint variation on the rifle. So really looking good. Then over here in his left hand, I've got the handgun, which looks cool. It's kind of like black, but very worn. But it's not gunmetal. I think it's meant to be black, and it's got just a lot of wear and tear on it. It's got some copper kind of accents trim on it. I'll let you check that out as well from the other side. Looks cool. Kind of big handgun. Ready to light some stuff up. So let me just show you a few of the different ways that he can look when you use some of that limited articulation to pose him up. So here I've got him in gangster style. Guns to the side. Feet to the side. Also, when you put this leg out, it sort of lifts up a little bit. Oh, and the hands are on pegs, apparently. Of course, they rotated. Actually, maybe this would be gangster. The gun's sideways going in. So here he is with both arms down as far as they'll go. So left arm flat, right arm 90 degrees. Here he is with both arms up as high as they'll go. So right arm goes in the air, left arm goes to 90 degrees. Could also push that left arm out to the left if you prefer, or bring it in close to the hip. You can tilt his head like he is going to shoot in that direction. And this is going to bring a screeching halt to our pose off here because this right hand, I just broke off at the peg in the wrist. So he is done. Let's see if I can return that guy. Could glue it, if nothing else. So watch out on the wrist quality there, or just how you handle these wrists, particularly this one with this big gauntlet around it. It did keep popping off and looks like eventually just broke as I was trying to pose him around. So there you have it, guys. McFarlane Toys 7-inch finger quotes action figure, limited posability. Spawn, really, really cool looking figure. I gotta say, aesthetically it looks awesome. The limited articulation you may or may not like depending on what you like to do with your figures. And I guess based off my review, the watch out is the wrist rotation and wrist pegs, which proved a little fragile for me. Hope you liked the video. See you next time.